morning. Here we are. It is you. I'm wearing these funky glasses today, huh? Yeah, I am. Because I want to. And because my eyes feel a little funny. I've been waking up too early the last couple days. Can't get back to sleep for fark's sake. November the 13th, Tuesday, which is Mars Day. Tues is Mars, and it's 2. Mono, Monday 1, Mars 2, Tuesday, Wednesday 3, Thor's Day, 4's Day, Jupiter, Zeus, Friday, 5's Day, Venus, the V, Aphrodite. V is Roman numeral 5. 5's Day. Moon Day through Friday. The two females, Moon and Fry, Mon and Fry. That's the Moon and Freya Venus, Norse, Mono, Moon 1 through 5. Those are the only two girls in the 7 of deities. And this so-called God here in Genesis, Genesis, genetics, creates everything in 6 days and rests on the 7th, linking himself to these 7 astrological days, deities. And on the first page, verse 14, it says this so-called Lord God, who's Elohim in Hebrew, which is plural gods, created the stars in the heavens, in the firmament, in the sky, in the ether, as signs, for signs and seasons, which is astrology. So all the religions claiming astrology is not connected to God and not part of this whole system are liars. And the basis of organized religion's status in this world of, authority based on Genesis, based on the literal interpretation of Genesis, is illegitimate. It's an allegory, meaning that everything that happens is symbolic. It's something else. Adam and Eve are odd and even. Dawn and evening. Yang and yin. Sun and moon. Male, female. This year what I was showing you is the serpent goddess, snake goddess. Serpent symbol, 7 letters serpent. Same as Genesis, the genes of Isis. Serpent is always associated with the sacred feminine, the mother goddess of old who was God to our ancestors. Check out the book The Language of the Goddess by Maria Gimbutas. So there we are, the 13th of November. Novem is 9 in Latin. This is month 7, Septem, the separation of the year at Libra. When the sun starts descending into his tomb of Autumn, falling through fall. October 8, Ember, October Ember, November Ember, December Ember. The embers are the dying of the fire, light, the dying of the light. The night overtakes the day, the dark overtakes the light, Darth overtakes Luke. The dark side of the Force, of the Star Wars, of Mars, Aries, Tuesday. So 11132018. 11133 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 0 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17. 1 and 7, 8. Infinite.
The George Knight and Company Morning Show on
88.9. There's Libra at 9, the sacred feminine. 3, 6, 9, 12. This is the great circle of the year, the sun on the ecliptic. And how could I have not mentioned this up till now, showing you this all this time? Some of these things I wrote down to make sure I mentioned today, because I forgot some things. Right ascension, R-A, Ra, Re. That's what this is. That's how the sun rises. Sunrise. This is the horizon, the Horus eyes on. Here's where the sun rises in the east. Aries, arise at the east, sunrise at the east, right? Right ascension. So the sun comes up 6 o'clock at the bottom and rises to the right, to the peak of the day, to noon, then down to the evening, and then to the nighttime. This sine wave of the year, here we are right now, this sine wave of the year happens on a microform every day. The sun is the sine. That's his path. It's a sine wave going up and down. And guess, like the song by the Flaming Lips, you realize the sun don't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning round. This is a two-dimensional representation of something happening in 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions, it forms the infinite. On the ecliptic, there's the Tropic of Cancer. At the summer summit, the Tropic of Capricorn, the winter inter valley, which is where the sun in the northern hemisphere is currently heading, dying. DIE in gematria, D is 4, the delta, the Daleth, the doorway, the door, D, the door, D, the door, D. North, south, east, west, the 4 doors, A, B, C, D. D is 4, I is 9, E is 5. 1, 2, 3 points there on the E, just like the 3. 1, 2, 3. This equals 4 plus 9 is 13 plus 5 is 18. The same as what this equals. 9, 3, 6. 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 6, 18. 1 and 8, 9, the feminine. 9 o'clock. This is where the sun sets. This is where the sun rises. Every day. DEI, DIE, deity, divine, divide, David, Deva. Going through the book of Genesis, genetics, and we've gotten to this point where this. Oh, so wait, a couple more things before I leave that behind here. Easter in the east. That's where the equinox is. Of the evening, of the equal day and night at the equator plane, the sun at the equator, at Aries, arise, the ram, see the horns, the rams, Ra, M's, right ascension, Ra, Ray, radius, radiance, the radius, the spokes of the wheel, the radiance, the radiation, D-ation, die, 2, DI, by, 2, A, B, 2, C, D, 4. So Easter, April. March is Mars, Aries, same thing. Wars, the god of initiation, right? Instigation, instargation, instargate, ion. Well, he rises to April, right through March. He's going up to here to the peak, right? So we'll look at it this way, because this would be the Aries over here. So April, right? East, rising from the east at Aries, where Adam is put in Genesis genetics, at the east, the position of the sunrise. Adam. See, I put the A upside down here to show you that A is originally this, the picture of the head of the bull god of the Bible, the Cana-Phoenician bull god, the Alpha, letter L, 12, the Most High, the Lord of light and life, Elohim, Allah, El, number 12, the Angel, the 90-degree angle of El, the Lord. This Lord down here creates the serpent, creates Adam, creates Eve, creates the trees, creates the whole thing, and we're presented with this story as if, as if he couldn't have stopped this serpent if he didn't want it to tempt Eve. So we got to this point where it says that Adam points God's yelling at Adam saying, "What have you done?" Right? "What have you done, my man, Adam?" Remember, this is allegory. This is not people historical. It's not a literal story. It's not something that ever happened, literally. It's something that happens in your body, because this is your body with the binding spine. The binding is the spine. It has two sides. Begins at Genesis, birth, genetics, begetting, origins, genes, which is here at 6 o'clock, your birth at 0 point, the 0 and the 6, the spiral ritual, spirit ritual of 6 and 9 above and below. See how the line coming off here is making the circle of the 6 below. Here it's making the circle of the 9 above, because 9 is above 6. That's why you have the sign of the crab of Cancer with the 6 and the 9. 369, 360. So over here, right, this God, we're supposed to believe that this God didn't want this serpent. 7 letters. Same with the word present. Anagram, ram, tetragrammaton. We're made to believe that this God didn't want the serpent to tempt Eve, to beguile her. We went into the dictionary to look up beguile, right? Which is to deceive with guile. Eve says the serpent beguiled her, right? The Lord God, verse 13, chapter 3, 13. The trees, the threes. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. In the east, Eve eats. East, E-A-T-S, E-A-S-T. Even. She did eat because he beguiled her. The serpent beguiled her. The serpent that is a symbol, and we're going to look more into that today in the Man and His Symbols by Jung. Symbol always associated with the feminine, the feminine. Eve, even. So let's go to guile, G-U-I-L-E, which has a numerology of 54, 5, 4, 9, G-U-I-L-E. We went into the word subtle, which is what God's serpent. God created that serpent. And we're presented with it as if this God or gods did not want Eve to eat from that tree, but this is like, when the parent says to the kid, you can't have that. No. And the kid, and the kid's like, why? Just because you can't. And the kid wants to know why, and obviously is gonna do it, right? This is what we're dealing with knowledge and with beginnings, origins, learning, lessons. This lesser sun area here. Guile, where is guile? G, number 7, letter 7, G-O-D, G-O, go, D, go door. Egodor. Get up, glad, good, God good. G-U-I. Where are you? Guardian, guardsman, gudgeon, Guernsey, gorilla, guess, guilt, guillotine, guile, right above guillotine and under gilder, which is Gulden, the Australian florin. So G-U-I-L-E, noun, craft and cunning, which are both what we learned from the word subtle, arts and crafts, craft and cunning, guile. That's what Eve says the serpent, what does she say? He beguiled me, and I did eat. The serpent beguiled me. And then the Lord God said unto the serpent, now the God speaking to his serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field, cursed. God curses this serpent now. We're going to continue part 2 in a second. Hare Krishna.